Hi there, it's still Winston Okatabo, and today we'll be looking at the advanced UI components. So last class we looked at the basic components. Yeah, they are basic but very helpful. But this time we're going to look at the advanced components, and I'm going to show you guys some tricks, give you some thoughts and some secrets to how these things really work. Yeah, because writing code is a lot, and it's not every time you want to write those codes. So how do you get the code written without writing it? Before you say AI, let me show you this. So now we have this beautiful website. It's more like our textbook. When I say our textbook, it's we developers, especially when you're starting out, you'd like this website a lot. So it's called W3 Schools. So type W3 Schools on your browser. Now this website consists of lots of tutorials as regarding these languages that you're seeing here, but without direction you'll actually be lost. Because imagine you're having a textbook, probably in your secondary school you have a textbook up to like 24 chapters. If your teacher doesn't tell you want to read the 24 chapters without knowing which one is more relevant and which one is irrelevant. So that's the same thing that happens here. This is like a textbook. Without direction you want to read everything, and you'll find out that most of what you read will not be useful. So what we do here is we point to the ones that are very useful and the ones you use regularly. So let's jump right in. So what we're looking at is Bootstrap. So if you want to see more on HTML and CSS, you can go ahead and any of these other languages. But I'm looking at Bootstrap now. And we have 3 versions available: Bootstrap 3, 4, and 5. Currently we're on Bootstrap 5, so Bootstrap 5, the most current version. Now, what are these advanced UI components that I am talking about? These components are very simple. We have the first one, which is the navbar, the drop down, the modal, and the carousel. Now, each of these components, they are very easy to use, but the codes are very long, so we will not be writing those codes ourselves. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you how we can get it done, the key aspects. So the first one is navbar. What do you understand by navbar? You may not know what a navbar means, but this is what a navbar is. This guys I see here, this top side of the website, it's called a navbar. If you come to this other website also, you also notice it has a navbar. It's called a navigation bar. Basically, where it takes you to different parts of the website. Then here you have a drop down. If you notice, if I put my mouse here, I see options. So this is what a drop down is, right? Yes. So do you have a carousel anywhere? I think here, this is a carousel. See this guy sliding, it's called a carousel. Although there are different ways of creating carousels, so I'll show us one easy way of making carousels. Then the last one is a modal. I doubt this page has a modal, but this guy that pops out from this side of this page is also a modal, but this is one-sided modal, right? So modals just basically pop up out of the page. So these are advanced UI components. How do we get them? Let's get straight into the video. So the first one is the navbar. So I'll go down here and select navbar. And here they show us different navbars. They have the basic navbar. Now what I want you to do, you can go through this, read on it, because basically reading on it will make you understand it better. But I'm going to go down to the one I really want. And that's navbar, we call it, what's it called now? It has this particular name. It's a responsive navbar. I can't see him here. I think it's at this top. Let me go again. So colored navbar, brand logo, navbar text, logo. So these are all different types of navbars that you'd want. So you have some navbar with forms, fixed navigation, sticky navbar, and all that. I think I'm missing it because here I saw it. Okay, so it says a standard navbar is created with the navbar class followed by a responsive collapsing class. That's navbar expand, double XL, XL, LG, MD, XL. Stacks the navbar vertically on X large and all the stuff. So what this means is that, like this website, the navbar here, it looks normal until I inspect. So once I inspect, you'll notice that the navbar kind of like disappears, and what I see is this guy. So we'll call this a responsive navbar. So the navbar collapses based on what you specify. Now that's what this line is talking about. It says the navbar expands, the navbar vertically stacks vertically on XX large. So I say dot navbar expand XXL, means from XXL to be vertical. So most times you do that on navbar expand MD, which means from tablet it should hide. That's what it ideally means. So what you will do here, you can just choose the navbar that is of interest to you and work with it. So I'm going to take this one, right? This one that says all of this. So all I have to do, I'll just copy the code from here, the nav code. I'll copy it, I run down to my code. I'm going to create a new page this time. I'll save this page as components or components2, components2.html. I'll generate my HTML5 as we've been doing from the beginning of time. And I'll give it advanced components. Then next I'll try to bring my bootstrap link in. Don't forget that. Don't forget anything, but don't forget to link your bootstrap. So I drop my bootstrap here and I'm good. Now that nav code, I need to go back and copy it. So I'll copy my nav code and paste here. Then try to run this on my browser. So I'll go back to my browser and navigate to that file. That file name is components2.html. So yeah, so you have this beautiful navbar here, right? Now if I inspect this navbar, if I try to move to my mobile device, it still shows, but now it stacks vertically, right? So if I inspect on this device, it shows like this. Now there is a particular navbar that has what's it called now, that collapsible icon, but it won't really work without we having some extra plugins. So now this is what I'm going to show you. I'm going to move over to the navbar that has drop downs. So navbar will drop down, right? So this is actually cool. So I'll click on try it yourself. Now trying it myself generates this. If I inspect, basically I'm trying to reduce the screen size. I'll see this one comes with stats guy. If you can see it, yeah, it comes with this guy. So this is actually the navbar that I need. Now what is making this navbar work? It's very simple. So if you look at their link in here, they have their bootstrap link, which we already done, and now they have a JavaScript link. Now you don't need to know much about JavaScript, but just know that for this kind of components you need this JavaScript link. So it's part of what makes those things work, right? So I'll come back here and paste this here. So this class is going to be copy and paste mainly. Majorly copy and paste. This is not where I want to use. So yeah. So then now I can see that this initial navbar is not giving me what I want. So I don't want this one again. What I'm going to do, I'm going to use the one that has that collapsible vibe. Why? Because the one that has this collapsible navbar is the one that you will use on different websites a lot. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to take the entire code. As I'm taking the nav, and this navbar will drop down. That's what's responsible for this text. But if you don't want that text, just take just the nav. So I'm going to take just the nav and paste here, align my code, and yeah, we have this. So now our drop down is working. right? So if I inspect this page trying to mimic a mobile device, why is it always moving me to this browser? I don't like this browser. So let me go back to my Chrome browser. So yeah, we have the same thing. Then if I inspect, yeah, I have that icon, right? So this is it's nothing stressful. So what you do is most times you need to adjust this navbar to what you want. That's by switching the classes and switching the contents that are in it. So here now that you have link, you can change it to like home, right? Change it to about us, change it to contacts us. Maybe if I'm doing this, I can say this should be services, acquire web development, call this one app development. Now to then be the last one. Let me just say cyber security. Yeah, so by doing this I have a bit of real data, right? So this is kind of what you need. Now most times your navbar may not always look like this, so that's why I showed you this platform. So depending on the navbar that you want, right? See the guy I was looking for. Depending on the navbar that you want, you can come here and get it, right? So here that says logo, you can also change this part and put in your logo. Now we have navbar expand SM. This means on small devices you start having that, what's it called now, that's collapsible stuff. So you can also change the color. BG dark, I can change to BG secondary. So this will change the color of my navbar. This is the secondary column. Or if you want to see it more, I can say BG danger. And I can change it to navbar lights. That's the text color. So start looking dark. So that's what it's all about, right? So now this is the navbar components. Now the next component that we can use is what I've already added here, which is the drop down, right? Now if you want to see how the drop down really works, you come down here, and if this doesn't really solve your problem, go back to W3 School, you see BS5 drop downs. Now these components all need JavaScript to work. This is to say if I remove this script linking, if I remove it for any reason, these guys will stop working. If I remove it for any reason, these guys will stop working. This is because JavaScript is what is responsible for that effect. And the entire coding that makes those guys work have been done for us. That's the power of Bootstrap. So yeah, so if you go to drop downs, you check around here, and this is like the most basic form of a drop down, right? So you have a div that has these classes and whatever you want to put inside of it. And if you check further, you see more things on it. So this is more like a textbook, like I've explained earlier, gives you info about many other components. Now if you want to look at the next, component, which is the modal. Now like I said, these components need JavaScript, do not forget. So the modal is here. Now the modal is this guy that pops out of your page, and it's very easy to create. And like I said earlier, this class is more of a copy and pasting. So because I'm not really expecting to cram these codes. Anybody expecting to cram this code, I don't know what you're cramming the code for, because in real life you don't need to cram it. So yeah, I have this nav here, so I'll paste my modal after my nav, give a lot of space. I just dump that code here, align my code. So the modal is very simple. If you go through the classes, you'll kind of like understand this, right? So you have a div of modal, the modal dialog, the modal content, which has header, body, and footer. Depends on what you want to put in it. So here now I have this button that pops out my modal. Now the most interesting thing about this modal is that this part that says ID modal is the most important part. Because now here we have this button. Basically this button is what opens the modal, right? And for us to open this modal, there are some things that we set on this button. So I already use my base to the type to the class. But now we have these ones. Data BS toggle modal, very important. Now the data BS target hash my modal. In CSS, remember hash signifies ID. So data BS target hash my modal. It means the modal must have an ID of my modal. So if this ID here is not same with this modal here, let me say here is targeting modals, and here is just modal. There is no way this button will open that modal. It's not possible. So they must be the same for it to load up. So you can decide whatever you want to put inside your modal. So in the modal body, I can decide to put a P lorem, our guy. So if I put the lorem, it comes out, right? Now if you go back to W3 School, it will tell you lots of things that you can do about the modal. You can also adjust the sizes, the full screen, centered, scrolling modal, a whole lot of guys. So you can go ahead and try these various variations. Now for the last component, that is the carousel. Very sweet component. The carousel is what is responsible for the slideshow, right? So images sliding, that's carousel. Now although this is not the only way of making carousel, but it's one of the most simplest carousels you can use. So this is the code. I'm not expecting you to cram this code. I'm not expecting you to cram these codes, but to some point you should understand what they do, and that's what I'll try to explain. So what I'll do here is I'll copy these guys, then after this modal code. So if you're a bit confused, you can create a new page for it, but create a new page for it, make sure you have linking your Bootstrap and the JavaScript. So dropping that code here simply does it. The only challenge here is that the images that I'm using here are not on my laptop. So now I'm saying edit.jpg, cargo, and all these guys. So my website, you won't really see it, but you can notice it's sliding. Alright. So to actually make your carousels look very good, what you should do, you should use images that are wide, that are big. I'm not sure I have any big image here. Let me see which one I have here now. Let me try this man.jpg if it's going to look good. So man.jpg. Yeah, man.jpg works. So yeah, so you see, so you need a very big image for it to look good. Let me see if I can get some more images from this guy, since that image works. So let me just quickly inspect these guys and get their images. So I have this next one. Where is the next guy? I'll select this next guy, then look for the image. I've downloaded that one. Then the last one, I look for the image. Bam. Yep. So I've gotten the other two images. So I'll look for where they are. I'll copy it, Ctrl+C, paste on my VS Code, Ctrl+V. So I'll rename this as people. People, and where's the last guy? You guys have minimal. So I rename this as office. So all this is just to make sure that my carousel shows very well. So using people, yeah. So I think this should do it. So now I have a very cool slider. Very cool slider. Very cool slider. So if you go back to what's it called now? So W3 School, you see other options as regards the carousel. So they are trying to explain to you what this class is doing. Like I said, nobody is expecting you to cram these codes, so don't try to cram them. Here now we also have another style of the carousel. This one comes with the caption. So if it's this one that you like, you can go ahead with it. So now these are just some basic or some advanced Bootstrap components. Right, so the further you go, the more components you can discover. Now if you look at all these other guys, there are also some other interesting components you can learn here as regards Bootstrap, right? So there are many other ones that you can look at here, but these ones I've shown us, they're like the big guys that you use a lot. Now in our next class, we're going to be doing something very, very interesting. So we're going to bring all these things that we have been learning into one. We're going to try to clone some parts of websites and probably start designing a bit of your website. Now what this means is we'll be bringing in what we've learned in HTML, what we've learned in CSS, and what we've learned in Bootstrap, and see how we can achieve a very nice website. So basically it's been fun all through, and this next part is going to be more fun. So what I would advise you do, you can go through the previous videos, try and get familiar with these classes, with the procedure of creating files, giving them classes, linking CSS, some CSS properties. You can also use the Bitry School to learn about some of the CSS properties. So when we start the next class, you won't be lost and you would flow easily. And if you're having any issues, just go through the videos again, try to like rewind and look at what I did if that's what's causing it. Then if you're having issues with your grid or you're having issues with your classes, confirm the class names, confirm where your divs are starting from and where they are closing. You can look at mine for an example. Then also confirm the names of the classes. So if the name of the class is not correct, there will be errors, right? So try to follow these steps as exact as possible and you'll be fine. So till we meet again in the next class, peace out.